Hey, what's up guys? It's Elastic Spider here, and in today's video we are looking at the Tier 7 British destroyer, the Jarvis, or Jervis. I think it's Jarvis. I think that's the proper pronunciation, the proper British pronunciation anyway. And anyway, let's get into this replay. So, since this is kind of a new ship, I think I put my minnow captain in here, so I've got a pretty good captain. Of course, I respect it, but I think my current build is Party Target, Last Stand, Superintendent, Concealment, and then after that, either AFT or IFHE. Then I have something like maybe I think it's probably Survivability Expert, and then the last one is kind of your choice. I think I've got Adrenaline Rush here. Not too sure. This is kind of a pretty much an experimental build, but nonetheless, that's kind of my build. And then for the consumables, main armaments mod 1, of course. Then if you have it, the hydroacoustic increased search module. Then I've got steering gears, and then I think and then aiming systems, or aiming systems and steering gears, whatever the case is. So that's kind of my build. And yeah, the Jarvis, well, it's an interesting ship. It's a ship that's actually pretty good, in my opinion. It's for only playing it one battle, I had a blast in this ship, actually. A couple side notes is, at the time of this recording, if you can still get the British destroyers in the crates, obviously, but you know, you can actually, they're considered premium ships at the moment, so you can kind of respec your reassign your captains to how you see fit, which is pretty nice. So just to keep that in mind when you're playing these, if you do end up getting them. I know some of you have been rather unlucky, per se, with your crate drops, and I'm here to say that I fortunately am not one of those people. I actually have the Tier 5, the Acosta, the Icarus, the Tier 6, and the Jarvis. However, the Tier 8 Lightning is currently eluding me. And just to get it out of the way too, I did buy 10 premium crates of the British premium crates, and I only got the Acosta. So the other two, the Jarvis and the Icarus, well, I did get those from the normal British crates. So I don't know if the premium crates are actually that good, but nonetheless, they are what they are. So this Gallant thinks he can rush us. I, of course, have my Hydra going to spot these torpedoes, and there's no way that I'm going to be eating those, or my friend Input Hercules, who actually steals that kill via a close quarters expert in his New Orleans. So far the Jarvis it's a ship that I mean, obviously I'm at the time of recording this replay, I'm a complete noob to the ship, and I also haven't really been paying too much attention, as I do with a lot of lines that first come out. I typically just let them come out, see how they are, and just see how they develop, how people start playing them, and what interesting ideas people can gain from them. So one interesting thing that I think you guys should have already noticed is the ability to use single fire torpedoes. That is certainly a British specialty, at least in their light cruisers, and it appears to be something that will come in as a feature for their British destroyers, which is actually very, very nice, and you'll see exactly why slightly about like 7-ish minutes. So that's one thing. You've got the ability to do narrow spread or single spread. That allows you to have so much flexibility compared to the narrow and wide spread. If you don't really like that random gap that is formed when you shoot narrow widespread torpedoes, I think you guys all know what I'm talking about, then you know you will certainly like the ability to single spread torp. One side note and one kind of caveat to this is that your torpedoes don't reload independently. They reload based on the whole torpedo set. So that is, of course, a big problem. Obviously, I could have a few more torpedoes ready, but obviously I can't. And this York, well, had I just had narrow spread, like let's say if I was in a Minsk or if I was in one of the tier 7 German, not the Gaida, but the what is it? The tier 7 German destroyer is evading me. Its name is evading me right now. But basically any other ship that couldn't single fire torps, I don't know if I would have been able to get that guy. I maybe would have had to use both sets, but because of the single fire capability, I was able to utilize that, which is pretty awesome. Now, on particular Jarvis, the torp angles are really poor, and the smoke is also very, very poor. I don't know if I can see it here, but I think it only lasts for maybe 55 seconds. It's very, very short range, or very, very short duration, I should say, and the reload is not much better. Now, with Superintendent and Premium Consumables, you do get 7 smokes, which is, I mean, 7 smokes, but it is definitely way more defensive smokes than it is offensive smokes. Whenever you pop a smoke, most of the time you're doing it to evade someone, or just maybe to get maybe hope to get a fire for some quick shoot and scoot kind of gameplay. And speaking of that shoot and scoot gameplay, these 120mm guns do have the capacity to do some pretty dirty things. Now, the shell velocity, from my experience, is quite poor, but nonetheless, they are still 120mm guns. You can slap some IFHE on it, and this is where I think I don't have IFHE, because I feel like I should be penning that New Mexico, but I'm not. So I think that's I'm not running IFHE on this build. And look at this poor Scharnhorst, and I can just single fire all these torps and watch his impending doom. I'm sure he can watch his impending doom. And well, yeah. There's one. Maybe 2. Is there going to be 2 there? There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. There's 5. And that last torpedo, he was so saturated that he actually didn't even take any damage. So, yeah, British destroyers in a nutshell. Right there. I honestly can't wait to play more of them. And yeah, they are some fun ships. But definitely, I would recommend IFHE. You probably saw there that I just was not getting good HE pens on those destroyers, and it's probably a little bit more beneficial too on the later destroyers like the Jutland and the Daring that have 114mm guns. Although IFHE, you still won't be able to pen certain ships, so those may not be nearly as viable. But certainly, on these 120mm, it could be an option. But again, like I said, these smokes, they also have very short bloom time too. And again, when they're only lasting for 40 seconds, it's really just for cover, basically. Now, I know this was a short replay, but I hope that it kind of grasps some of the British destroyer game. So short and sweet it is. We ended up with 106k, devastating strike, 2 kills, a solo base cap, 8 torpedo hits, and one of which that didn't even do any damage. But nonetheless, I'm not going to talk about this post-battle results because it was a very quick game and that sort of thing. But I want to get your guys' opinion on what you guys think about these British destroyers. Are you excited for them? Are you not excited for them? And if you are, tell us why. I know I'm certainly excited for a new British destroyer line, or a new destroyer line in general. I do think destroyers need some love. There's been a lot of radar ships and counter DD ships that have recently been added to the game. American cruiser line, Japanese gunboat line, Stalingrad. So I hope these British destroyers help change things up a little bit, and you know, add a different flavor to the game. So as of right now, I think the British destroyers, and I know I've only played one game, I think they're quite strong. They have that unique ability to have both hydro and smoke, which could make them rather powerful in some situations. But I think at the moment they are currently balanced quite well with that very short smoke time and that very lackluster hydroacoustic search. But those downsides are made up for in their single launch torpedo capability. So just let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I know it's a shorter video, but I thought it was it's a lively topic that a lot of people are talking about. So let me know what you guys think about the British destroyers, what you thought about the game in general. And anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day, guys, and I'll see you guys later.